All right, so today we're diving deep into manifesting your dream reality.
Oh, yeah, this should be fun.
We're going to be looking at this super popular YouTube video by Thewizardliz.
Okay.
It's called How to Create Your Dream Reality.
All right.
And you know, Liz is like super high energy, and she's very like upfront about her journey of like personal transformation, especially given that she, talks about coming from a pretty challenging background.
Oh, interesting.
So we're here to kind of distill her sometimes unconventional wisdom, into actionable advice for you, our listener.
I love that.
Yeah. So one of the things that's fascinating about Liz's approach is how she kind of uses the achievements of others, like people who are out there building spaceships and, becoming billionaires.
Yeah.
And she uses that to kind of challenge our own perceived limitations.
I see. That's actually really fascinating because she's using like what other people are doing as a way to like kick us in the butt a little bit.
She's like, look, if they can do that, why are you settling?
Oh, boy.
But, I mean, isn't that a little bit of a simplification, though?
Oh, for sure.
Because, like, everybody's journey is different, right?
Totally, yeah. Everybody's starting from a different place.
Yeah.
They have different resources, different, challenges and advantages. But I think what she's trying to do is get us thinking bigger.
Okay.
Not to get bogged down in the specifics of like, well, they had this and I don't have that, but just to think about like, what is actually possible for a human being to do in this lifetime?
Okay.
And if they can do that, why are we like limiting ourselves?
So I think it's about acknowledging the vast potential that exists.
Totally.
And questioning why we might be holding ourselves back.
Exactly.
Okay, so then how do we go from kind of acknowledging that potential to actually like defining what our dream reality is?
Well, Liz is all about getting granular.
Okay.
She even shares in the video like how she manifested her ideal partner.
Oh, wow.
By like writing down exactly what she wanted.
Interesting.
So it's about not just wishing.
Right.
But consciously crafting a really detailed vision of what you want your life to be like.
So like down to, the nitty gritty of finances and...
Totally. Finances, relationships, career, personal growth, anything that matters to you. Think about what does your ideal day look like?
Okay.
Like who are you surrounded by?
Yeah.
What kind of impact are you making in the world?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I feel like at this point, some listeners are like rolling their eyes and being like, oh, they're like,
manifestation guru.
Manifestation guru, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But one of the things that I think is interesting about Liz is she does back up her claims with real life examples, including her own experiences.
Right. And she doesn't just say, like visualize it and it will come.
Right.
She talks a lot about like aligning your actions with your goals.
Okay.
So, for example, if you want to manifest like a financially stable partner, she's like, dating someone with zero work ethic is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be taking action.
Right.
That actually aligns with what you want.
It's that whole like, actions speak louder than words.
Totally.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah, and she walks the talk.
Yeah.
Like, she's constantly investing in her own growth. She even mentions in the video that she's starting a therapy podcast.
Oh, interesting.
To make mental health resources, more accessible to people.
Yeah.
So it shows that she's really committed to this, like, self-improvement journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I thought that was a really cool thing.
Yeah, for sure.
That she brought up. So, going back to like defining our dream reality and all that.
Yeah.
She also talks about how it's important to find inspiration in others.
Okay.
And not in a jealous way. Right. But by studying those who embody aspects of the life that you desire.
Yeah. What did you think about that?
I really like this idea.
Yeah.
Of turning like envy into inspiration, because so often I think, we see people who are doing things that we want to do and we're like,
ugh, why them?
Yeah, why them, not me.
Totally.
And we kind of get resentful, but I think it's really powerful to kind of flip that script and say like, okay, instead of being resentful, how can I analyze the paths of these people that I admire and glean valuable lessons from their journeys?
Totally, yeah.
So, we've got our vision, we're aligning our actions, but what about
those pesky internal roadblocks?
Yeah, the inner critic.
Yeah, because Liz gets super real about confronting what she calls limiting behaviors. And she even shares her own struggles with, with bulimia.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is really powerful because it kind of highlights that.
Yeah.
Personal growth isn't always pretty.
Right.
We all have stuff to work through.
Absolutely.
So for you, the listener, what stuff comes to mind? What habits or patterns do you think might be holding you back from your dream reality?
Well, and Liz cautions us to not get overwhelmed, right?
Right.
Like, you don't have to fix everything at once.
Yeah.
She really advocates for focusing on just one key change at a time.
Okay.
And then kind of seeing the domino effect from there.
Yeah.
So she uses the example of joining the gym.
Which then sparked all these other positive changes in her life.
It's that whole Rome wasn't built in a day kind of a thing.
Totally. Yeah.
So, whether that one key change is committing to that meditation practice or finally learning to say no more often or whatever it is for you.
Yeah.
I think that's a really valuable tip.
And remember what we were talking about earlier about aligning actions with goals.
Right.
That applies here too. Every choice, every little step that you take should be in some way moving you towards the bigger picture.
Right. It's like weaving a tapestry thread by thread.
Exactly.
So Liz also dives into this tricky territory of negative self-talk and these illusions that we create for ourselves. And she talks about how we sometimes see patterns where none exist, like blaming bad luck on the evil eye or whatever.
Interesting.
And I think that that's where critical thinking really comes into play.
Yeah.
Because we need to challenge those assumptions.
Yeah.
And ask ourselves, is this really true? Or am I just buying into a narrative that's holding me back?
Yeah, exactly.
So for the listener, how often do you find yourself spiraling down a rabbit hole of what ifs?
Totally.
And worst case scenarios. Yeah. Because Liz's advice here, I think, is really about choosing a more empowering narrative.
Exactly. It's about shifting from victim mode to creator mode.
Okay.
So instead of feeling helpless, we can recognize we actually do have the power to influence our reality.
Right.
One thought at a time, one action at a time. It's like she says, you have the power to manifest your desires, but you have to believe it.
And that's where her concept of the wizard mindset.
Oh, yeah, the wizard mindset
comes in, right? It's having this playful confidence that you can attract what you want into your life.
It's about believing in your own magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, with any type of personal growth, there are always going to be those naysayers.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
And Liz even talks about facing criticism for her confidence.
Yeah.
She even says people call her a narcissist.
Oh, wow.
And I have to admit some of her advice can sound a little bit,
cringy. A little cringy. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think what's admirable is how she handles that.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, I might be embarrassing to some people.
Yeah.
But I'm living my dream and taking care of my family.
Yeah. Totally.
So I think it's about prioritizing your own well-being and staying true to yourself even when it's uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And that actually leads us into another point that she makes, which is the power of solitude.
Oh, interesting.
Because she talks about how easy it is, especially for those of us who are more empathetic or sensitive or whatever, to pour our energy into others and leave very little for ourselves.
Totally, yeah.
And so she's kind of giving us permission to prioritize our own needs.
Yeah.
Even if it means stepping back from the demands of others.
It's like a reminder.
Yeah.
That it's not selfish.
Right.
It's self-preservation.
Yeah. And it's not just about avoiding burnout or whatever, but it's also about creating that space for reflection and for growth.
Right.
So Liz emphasizes the importance of like unlearning limiting beliefs that we've inherited from our upbringing or our culture or even just, our social circles. Excellent. So it's about questioning the status quo and consciously choosing the beliefs that serve us best.
And I think we absorb so many beliefs.
Yeah.
Without even realizing it. So it's crucial to kind of examine them.
Yeah.
And say, like, do these actually align with my values?
Right, yeah.
With where I want to go in life?
Yeah.
Or are they holding me back?
And then building on that, she also cautions against letting other people's opinions unduly influence our own.
Totally.
And I think, in today's world where, like, everyone has an opinion and a platform to share it, it's so easy to get swept away by the tide of external influence. And so this is where I think critical thinking becomes even more crucial. We need to develop the ability to, like, discern information, to weigh different perspectives, and ultimately, like, trust our own judgment.
Exactly. And Liz even encourages us to. Like, seek guidance from a higher power. Whether that's, God or the universe. Or something else that you connect with. And I know this might not resonate with everyone. But I think it speaks to that idea of having faith in something bigger than ourselves.
Absolutely. And so now let's get to one of my favorite points. Which is Liz's emphasis on consistency over perfection.
I love this one.
Because I don't know about you, but I have so often found myself stuck in that cycle of, like, overthinking and overanalyzing and never actually getting started on a project.
Totally.
Because I'm, like, afraid of making a mistake or, whatever. And she's just like, no.
She's like, just do it.
Just, like, embrace the journey with all of its imperfections and just focus on making steady progress toward your goals. Even if it means making mistakes along the way.
We're all works in progress.
Right. So I think that's such a freeing concept. So we've covered a lot of ground here in this first part of our deep dive. From, defining our dream reality to confronting limiting behaviors, embracing solitude, cultivating that
wizard mindset.
Liz offers a lot to unpack.
Absolutely. And I think we've only just scratched the surface. In the next part, we're going to delve a little bit deeper into like some of the more nuanced aspects of her approach and talk about, like, how you can start putting these ideas into practice in your own life.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for that.
Liz's video, it's definitely like a whirlwind of ideas.
It is,
And her style, it might not be for everyone. But there's something, like, undeniably empowering about her core message. Which is this idea that, like, we have the power to shape our reality.
And it's not just about positive thinking. Like, she backs it up with actual, like, actionable steps, And I think one of the most powerful takeaways, for me at least, is her emphasis on aligning actions with goals.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind and, like, lose sight of the bigger picture.
Totally. We get distracted. We make choices that don't really serve us. We're not really thinking long term. And I think her advice is just, like, a constant reminder to like check in with ourselves, make sure that, our choices are actually moving us in the direction that we want to go.
Like, we have this internal compass. That's guiding us.
That's a great analogy.
Back to our true north. And so for you, the listener, like, think about a time when you felt really aligned. Like, what were you doing? Who were you with? What decisions were you making? Because I think that feeling of alignment is such a powerful indicator that you're on the right track.
100%. And, sometimes getting back on track means, like, investing in ourselves. Which Liz is, like, a huge advocate for.
Huge advocate for it.
And not just, like, financially.
Right.
But in terms of prioritizing
Yeah.
our physical, our mental, our emotional well-being.
Remember when she was talking about starting the therapy podcast?
Yeah. I thought that was
I loved that.
so cool.
Me too.
Like, it really impressed me because it shows that she's really, like, committed to making those resources more accessible. And it's one thing to talk about self-improvement.
Right.
But it's another to, like, actually walk the walk.
Right, totally. And that's what makes her so authentic, I think, is that she doesn't shy away from sharing her own struggles.
Right.
Like, she talks about her, battle with bulimia, and it just makes her, like, so much more relatable and human.
It reminds us that personal growth is not always linear or glamorous, Like, there are going to be setbacks, there are going to be challenges.
Absolutely.
But it's about acknowledging those challenges and, like, actively working toward healing and growth.
Exactly. And so for the listener, like, think about something that you've always wanted to do,
but you've been holding back because of, fear, self-doubt, whatever.
Yeah.
What's one small step you can take today to challenge that?
And remember Liz's advice about focusing on one key change at a time. I think that is so helpful here because, she talks about how joining the gym had this, like, ripple effect on other areas of her life.
Right.
So small changes can lead to big transformations.
Big transformations,
But I think we often get, like, overwhelmed by trying to do too much.
Totally. It's like, how do you eat an elephant?
Right.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. I love that. And so each bite, each small step is building momentum.
Yes.
Towards that bigger vision.
Exactly.
It's like laying down the foundation for the life that you want to create.
100%. And speaking of foundations,
like,
Liz reminds us that our mindset is, like, crucial.
Right.
Yeah. She talks about cultivating what she calls a wizard mindset.
Yeah.
This belief in our ability to manifest our desire.
Yeah. I know some people might hear that and think it's a little woo, 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 woo. Yeah, for sure. But honestly, like, I kind of think there's something to be said for, like, approaching life with a sense of playful confidence and believing in your own potential, Yeah. What do you think?
I totally agree. And I think, there's a difference between, like, naive optimism and a genuine belief in your abilities.
Yeah.
Because I think when you believe in yourself, when you believe in your vision, you're more likely to actually take the actions necessary to make it happen.
It's like she says in the video.
Yeah.
You are the architect of your own reality.
Yes. I love that.
And I think that just like any good architect, we need to be mindful of, like, the materials that we're using to build that reality.
Totally.
And so Liz really emphasizes the importance of, like,
Yeah.
unlearning those limiting beliefs that can kind of sabotage our efforts.
Absolutely. Because we all inherit beliefs.
Yeah.
We inherit assumptions from our families, our cultures, our experiences. But we have the power to question those.
Right.
And to choose the ones that empower us.
It's like spring cleaning for your mind.
It is, yeah.
Getting rid of the clutter that it's no longer serving you.
Totally.
And then once you've cleared out that space, you're more open to new possibilities, new ways of thinking and being.
And I think that's where Liz's advice about solitude really comes in.
Right.
Because, in a world that's filled with, like, constant noise and distraction, creating that space for quiet reflection is, like, essential.
Essentially,
for connecting with our inner wisdom.
It's like tuning out the external noise and listening to that quiet voice within.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's about recognizing when you need to, like, recharge, replenish, come back to center.
So for the listener, what does solitude look like for you?
Yeah.
Is it taking a walk in nature?
Yeah.
Meditating? Journaling? Like, finding those moments of stillness, I think, can really help us to tap into our intuition and to make decisions that are aligned with our truest selves.
Absolutely. And I think when we do step back into the world, it's crucial to be mindful of external influences.
Right.
Liz cautions against letting other people's opinions kind of sway us.
Yeah, too easily.
And it's so easy to do that.
Oh my gosh. Especially
now.
in today's world.
Yeah.
Right? We're just like constantly bombarded with messages telling us what to think, how to feel, what to buy. It's more important than ever, I think, to develop those critical thinking skills and to learn how to filter that information through the lens of our own values and beliefs.
Yeah.
So we have to ask ourselves, whose voice am I listening to?
Yeah.
Is this information serving me?
Right.
Or is it just noise?
And Liz also encourages us to kind of seek guidance from a source greater than ourselves. She talks about asking for signs from a higher power.
Yeah.
Whether that's God or the universe or, something else that you connect with. And I know this might not resonate with everyone.
For sure.
But I think it speaks to that idea.
Of having faith in something bigger than ourselves.
Yes.
Just knowing that we're not alone in this journey.
Right.
And, kind of cultivating that sense of surrender and trust.
Yeah.
And
allowing ourselves to be guided by a force greater than our own understanding.
So Liz also reminds us that, this journey of personal transformation, it's not about achieving some perfect end state.
No.
She really emphasizes consistency over perfection. And I think that that's a really important point.
I agree.
Because striving for flawlessness can actually kind of paralyze us.
Absolutely. It's a permission slip.
Yeah.
To let go of the need to be perfect.
Yeah.
And to embrace the messy, imperfect beauty of the journey.
We're all works in progress, right?
We are, yes.
And it's those small, consistent efforts day after day that ultimately lead to the biggest breakthroughs.
Absolutely. So we've explored kind of some of the deeper layers of Liz's message.
Yeah.
We talked about aligning actions with goals, investing in ourselves, cultivating that wizard mindset, unlearning limiting beliefs, embracing solitude.
Right.
Prioritizing consistency over perfection.
Yeah. But how do we actually put all this
good question.
into practice in our daily lives? That's what we're going to explore in the final part.
Okay, I'm excited.
Of our deep dive. We're going to break down Liz's advice into concrete, actionable steps that you can start taking today.
Love it.
To move closer to your dream reality. Okay, so we've spent the last two parts kind of exploring her philosophy, right? And some of the key takeaways from her video. But let's get down to brass tacks.
Okay,
how do we actually apply this wizardry in our own lives? I'm ready to grab my wand and make some magic happen.
All right, hold your horses, eager beaver. It all starts with a solid foundation.
Okay.
Liz is adamant about the power of belief. She literally says in the video, if you don't believe you can have it, you won't.
Right.
So it's really about shifting from a mindset of limitation to one of possibility.
So ditch the self-doubt and embrace the idea that we're capable of amazing things.
Amazing things,
okay.
Exactly.
Right.
And then once we kind of have that belief, it's about getting really clear on what we want.
Okay.
And this is where defining our dream reality comes in.
Right.
And she's like, don't just say, I want to travel more.
Okay.
Paint a picture.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Who are you with?
Okay.
What are you feeling?
It's like creating a vision board in our minds, but with super high definition.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And once we have that vision, it's about finding inspiration.
Okay.
Remember what Liz said about identifying role models?
Yes.
So it's about turning envy into fuel for our own journey.
So let's say I'm feeling stuck in a dead-end job.
Okay, yeah.
I could look to people who have built, like, successful careers in, fields that light me up.
Right.
And their stories can offer, like, valuable insights. Even if their paths are, like, totally different from mine.
Precisely.
Okay.
And now, let's be real.
Yeah.
We all have those, like, pesky, limiting behaviors.
We do,
that can trip us up.
Yeah.
Liz is so refreshingly honest about her own struggles.
Right.
She's just reminding us that we're all works in progress.
Right.
And she doesn't sugarcoat it either.
No. Yeah.
It's like those behaviors, whether it's procrastination, negative self-talk, whatever, they can really sabotage our efforts to create the life that we want.
And so for you, the listener, what's like one limiting belief or behavior that you're ready to challenge?
Yeah. Think about that.
And remember Liz's advice about starting small?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We don't need to like overhaul our entire lives overnight.
We don't have to do everything at once.
Right, yeah.
Even like tiny changes, when done consistently, can make a huge impact.
She uses that analogy of like,
oh, yeah,
a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small.
Yeah.
But as it gathers momentum, it becomes like unstoppable.
Totally.
It's the same with building new habits.
It is.
So let's say I want to start like meditating regularly. I don't need to jump into like an hour-long practice right away. I could start with just like 5 minutes a day.
Totally.
And then gradually increase from there.
Exactly.
It's about building that consistency.
Yeah.
One small step at a time.
And remember to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because that's fuel for the journey.
It is. Now for the fun part.
Okay.
Cultivating that wizard mindset Liz talks about.
Yeah.
It's about embracing like this sense of playful confidence, believing in our ability to manifest our desires.
Honestly, sometimes I struggle with this a little bit.
Oh, really?
Because it feels a little bit like naive to think that we could just like magically attract what we want.
Right.
What about like hard work and real world challenges?
I hear you, but I think it's more nuanced than that. You know, it's not about just like sitting back and waiting for things to
fall into our lap.
Yeah.
I think it's more about like aligning our actions with our beliefs and approaching life with a sense of possibility rather than limitation.
So it's more about like embodying that confident energy, which then inspires us to take action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, it's about trusting that we have the power to shape our reality.
Yeah.
One thought, one choice, one action at a time.
And we can't be afraid to get a little,
cringy
along the way.
Yeah.
As Liz so eloquently puts it.
She's like, growth requires us to step outside of our comfort zones, to risk looking foolish.
And she definitely like is not afraid to be herself, even when it means like being judged or criticized, Right. And I think that's a really powerful lesson in itself.
It is, and it kind of ties into what she was saying about the importance of solitude.
Yes.
She talks about like needing to recharge.
Yeah.
And reconnect with ourselves.
Right.
Especially if we're like highly sensitive or empathic. It's about setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Prioritizing our own well-being.
Right.
Carving out time for like those activities that nourish our souls.
Maybe it's, reading a book.
Yeah.
Taking a walk in nature. Simply sitting in silence, whatever it looks like for you.
Yeah.
Solitude is about creating space for reflection.
Yes.
For connecting with your inner wisdom and intuition.
Totally.
And speaking of wisdom, Liz reminds us to be wary of blindly accepting external influences. And it's so easy to get caught up in the opinions of others, especially in like today's world. Hyper-connected world.
Yeah, we're constantly bombarded with messages.
Right.
Telling us what to think, how to feel, what to buy.
It's essential to develop that critical thinking muscle. To question everything. Yeah. And to trust our own judgment.
Exactly.
It's about becoming like discerning consumers of information and forming our own opinions based on careful consideration.
Totally.
And Liz even encourages us to kind of seek guidance from a source greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, this might sound a little like woo-woo for some.
Right.
But I think it speaks to that idea of having faith in something beyond our limited human understanding.
Right.
Whether it's, God or the universe or simply like the interconnectedness of all things. There's a sense of comfort and support in knowing that we're not alone on this journey.
Totally. Yeah.
It's about cultivating that sense of surrender and trust and allowing ourselves to be guided by a force greater than our own ego.
Yes.
And finally, let's not forget Liz's emphasis on consistency over perfection.
Yes, I love this one.
She reminds us that progress, not perfection, is the key to lasting transformation.
Absolutely. It's a permission slip.
Yes.
To let go of the need to be perfect.
Right.
To embrace, the messy, imperfect beauty of the journey.
Because we're all works in progress, right?
Exactly. We are all.
And it's those, small, consistent efforts day after day that ultimately lead to the biggest breakthroughs.
So there you have it. We've taken, Liz is sometimes chaotic.
Right.
Sometimes, cringy.
Yeah.
But always insightful advice.
Yes.
And kind of distilled it into a roadmap for creating your dream reality.
Absolutely. So we've talked about believing in your potential or defining your vision, finding inspiration.
Yeah.
In others, confronting limiting behaviors. Cultivating that wizard mindset.
Yeah.
Embracing solitude.
Thinking critically.
Thinking critically, yes.
Seeking guidance.
Seeking guidance.
Prioritizing consistency over perfection.
So Liz's journey shows us that transformation is possible.
It is.
No matter where you're starting from.
100%.
So what's one small action you, the listener, can take today to move towards your dream reality?
Think about it.
Yeah, think about it.
Write it down.
Write it down.
And then go do it.
And then go do it.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep questioning.
Keep growing.
Keep growing.
And keep believing the magic within you.